What's good, Ty?
Man, ain't shit.
Another week, another episode.
Yeah, yes indeed.
California.
California.
It's hot. We in the pool.
Yeah, we're in Palm Springs, California, actually. It's hot as, it's very hot. I don't know how hot I can describe it, but it's hot.
I think the devil got him a little rental house out here.
Yeah, he definitely got to run them.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling inspired.
Inspired?
Yeah, I'm feeling like fuck you money in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Tell me about your week.
Monday was 4th of July. We had a fan activation. Then we had a Magic City activation. And then Tuesday, July 5th, it's in New York. I had a New York activation. I left when it got a little nuts. I went back to the hotel and got some food. I think I went to sleep, but the hotel that I was in New York had a basketball court, so it took me about 3 hours to put on clothes and get off my phone before I was down at the gym shooting basketball like at midnight. And then the next day flew out to LA on July 6th, and we're just monitoring and getting all the stuff set up for the album, but also planning for Vegas for Summer League. And then the 7th we had a VIP listening event at Burberry for the album, leading down to that. And then after I left that early to go make sure that the album and everything was gonna roll out the proper way, you know, data, making sure people credits and shit straight, and making sure the right versions of the song ain't get crossed over and confused from the DSPs and shit. Then on Friday, we had a fan activation that we did with Amazon at this studio space downtown LA where the police sent the helicopters and
Yeah, there was SWAT. SWAT came out, right?
yeah. They shut down because there was too many people like around waiting on the line. So the police was like, you don't have permits to have all these people like this a block party, but they were really like in line. It's just that the line was so long and disrupted. And the studio pretty much just lied to the police. It was like, yo, this is a private event. We don't know how these kids got the address. We're gonna get the people that's supposed to be here. So they let in about 25 kids, fans, 250, 300. It was between that number. And then from there it got a little rowdy.
It got rowdy after that?
Yeah, the police shut everything down and try to get everybody away from the space. But the fans started to act like Travis Scott fans. They tried to like knock down the gate at the fucking studio space. We had to run Brent through the back. They had to use bolt cutters to cut the bolt off of one of the back doors because the police had blocked the whole road. It was some wild shit. And then that was Friday. Saturday, I flew to Vegas for some NBA Summer League, went to watch some games, and went to a panel. My nigga Barry was speaking at the panel. And then Sunday, you know, I'm in here. I flew from Vegas to Palm Springs.
Now that's a week.
Yeah, that is a week.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Ty works with Brent Faiyaz. Wasteland is out now.
Yeah, Wasteland is definitely out now.
You know, album number 2.
And Cali Sway.
Cali Sway is out.
Nothing single. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that I really liked was the first event was in Atlanta, right? The pop-up.
Yep, 4th of July.
You tweeted out that the rollout begins.
Yep.
How do you decide these activations?
Well, it's a team effort. You know what I mean? It's like everybody have their ideas, bring their ideas to the table. It was PK's idea about the Magic City shit. It was Brent's idea about doing these fucking unruly, unregulated ass fan pop-up. I didn't agree with. I was completely against the shit, but it was a team effort. That's something he wanted to do. So everybody just kind of worked on how can we do it in a way that it can be manageable and not get shut down before he actually get there.
Right.
So the funny thing about it is the shit that was the most organized, which is in LA, almost got shut down before he got there. So it was a collection of everybody's ideas from the activation perspective.
But managing digital activations and physical activations, how important is that for artists these days?
I mean, I think they go hand in hand. I don't think you should do a digital activation without pairing it with a physical activation. It's just something about people being able to see you as a fan. Like, that's anything though. Like, when you think about sports, when you think about, music, when you're thinking about talk show hosts, when you think about anything that people can like see on a TV or internet, even love and hip hop stars, like people just have a different type of reaction when they can actually see that shit and talk to them and interact with them and feel like they close with them or feel like they one of them, you know what I'm saying? Or we relate, you know what I mean?
Anything you learned throughout the week that has kind of stuck with you so far?
That people weird as shit. Like, I always knew that, but like, they're just weird. It's just weird individuals that work in the music space. And when you start to see, like when you look at Master P's documentary about No Limit, the story, and you notice that Master P had like a period of like 5 years before Mr. Ice Cream really hit and blew up. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about what we're doing with Brent, it's been 5 years. Like Sun 5-year anniversary is in October.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first like debut like album. So technically this is really the second album. Everything in between that been EPs and been singles. So like we're on like a no limit trajectory just with less artists, right? And so when you start to see that and you start to have like these charting successes where people are like things that are trending to be number 1 or number 2 or whatever it is, you start to see like how people that you already have been cordial with, like this shit just weird how they be acting. So it just solidifies that I don't really specifically don't like men. Men are weird. Like men are weird. I'm gonna say it twice. And they're groupies, and I don't understand it. Women are way better conversation and to be around, because even if women get weird, you feel like you can just change your direction and go to another room, you know what I'm saying? But when a man is weird, you feel like you gotta fight him because you're a man, you know what I'm saying?
And they might follow you to that next room.
Yeah, like it's just weird. Like I don't think grown men should be having certain conversations with other grown men that they don't really know like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally.
I won't get into that.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Men are weird.
Okay, well, we got about a nice amount of people in here, and I know you were tweeting about they might get some game today. You might get some knowledge. What were you thinking? What's on your mind?
Yo, it really hit me today. Like, work hard but study harder, right? Because people know what hard work looks like. Because they're like, if you have a family, like, if you didn't grow up rich, you know what hard work looks like, because your parents probably had 1 or 2 jobs. They probably worked 40 to 60 hours a week. You probably didn't have that many vacations as a family. You probably didn't see your mom or your dad that much because they worked that much.
Right. And
so you know when you're looking at something, you're like, damn, this person is really working hard. They're taking care of the household. They're waking up every day. They whatever. But you never really see what study harder looks like.
You know.
Growing up, I never seen what study hard. I never seen a visual representation of what study hard looks like, right? And through this week, the information that I have been privy to, the same information that these 40-year institutions have information to make sure that an album can be successful. You know what I'm saying? Certain partners that you can align with that understands what you need to do and what the rules are to be able to make sure that you're not working down the wrong path. I think that's what happened with like a lot of our parents. Like they worked extremely hard, went to work every day, never called off, probably picked up a second job because the ends wasn't meeting, and they worked really hard. But like, there was no study harder, like
mentality
or even an example. Like, I ain't see nobody that sat at the house all day and made money and then have to leave, and me being like, I wonder how they make all that money. And then them be like, oh, well, I've been studying this specific industry, and I've been waiting for the right opportunity, and then opportunity hit, I took advantage of it, boom, I made a good load of money, I invested it, I diversified it, all those different things, right?
Right.
It's funny, in Magic City, this is how Atlanta works. Men in Magic City with an all tycoon. And he tells us in Magic City, true diversification of your income or your portfolio is to make money without labor.
Right.
That's true diversification. He didn't say, get you some real estate here, get you some, franchises here, you got your music business here, your tech. He didn't say none of that shit. He said true diversification is to make money without labor. And I was like, damn, this is Magic City on Monday. Why he got the 1942 in his hand? Like, I'm telling you, put your shit in the trust. You put your shit in the trust, no matter what happens, it's protected. No matter if you go through a divorce, no matter if you go through a lawsuit, put it in the trust. And he's like walking through these tidbits. You know what I'm saying? Why he getting a lap dance? This is Atlanta. This is why the strip clubs in Atlanta. This is not the first time this happened. I remember being in Onyx. They had this shit called Smokers Club. It's the last Friday of every month from 3 to 8. Nothing but black attorneys, black lawyers, architects, and they in that bitch smoking cigars, and they just chopping it up, getting lap dances, ordering chicken wings and shit. This is literally on every Friday. I don't even know if it go on anymore.
I don't think so.
From 3 to 8.
Yeah.
And I met the architect that was, at the time, putting the plans together for the Brooklyn Nets Stadium, right? And black guy. And he told me then, he said, if you can afford a 5-bedroom house, get a 3-bedroom house. And the remainder of that cash you got, put it away. If you can afford an E-class Benz, get a C-class Benz. The difference between that cash difference, put that away. Invest it, put it somewhere else. I always stay cash heavy because you never know when that cash can come useful. And he just said, living below your means when you got it accelerates your journey to wealth because you have so many different resources to really acquire. Wealth comes through ownership. You know what I'm saying? Acquire, right? So like, when we start talking about like how to really build and like find ways to utilize what you're doing, and you're learning this information in like nightclubs, strip clubs specifically, this is financial information.
Well, there's money there, right?
Yeah, definitely money there.
Do you feel like the way people view strip clubs and the way people view money is such a negative space because of the work that goes on in there?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, I don't blame them. The fuck, like it's a very unique experience in Atlanta pertaining to like those type of experiences.
But I feel like that says a lot about Atlanta, the kind of people you can meet in those spaces.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You got to be open-minded.
Yeah, I think you got to be open-minded no matter where you at. That's another part of like studying harder.
But I was about to say, yeah, the way we view studying, right? I didn't know what you were going to say when you came up with the idea for the description of the episode, right? I was thinking maybe you're going to come with a book. I didn't know you were going to come with a strip club story. But I don't think people imagine studying in that way.
Yeah, because because these are questions these are conversations that's being happening. He's not just blurting out this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're having dialogue just so happen to be in the strip club, right? Because the person may say something that sparks your aspects of what you're trying to achieve. So like when we start talking about studying just through management of music and entertainment and like and this thought process of growth, right? If I'm sitting down, I'm talking to our different partners, and I'm learning things in real time about how a project can be successful, but not be documented, right? Because like, if you sell X amount of units, or if you do 15 sold out shows, but it's not documented.
It's successful.
I mean, it is successful.
Yeah.
But in terms of like being able to leverage that for other success, how do you prove it? That's 15 shows was 15 years ago. You gotta have some level of like information to know, yo, you need to make sure that this person report my shit to Polestar. Is the promoter promoting my stuff to Polestar? Because that's the database platform that tracks every time you have a headline show that's sold out, every time you're a headline on a festival that sells out, they're tracking these different things. You know what I'm saying? If a person is like, I'm gonna put my music out on YouTube, you gotta know on YouTube, if you're trying to get credit for selling units as a popular artist, it only counts on YouTube if it's screaming from your official artist page. It don't count because me and you uploaded it and that video got 10 million views because I did some cool, weird shit with the graphics. That don't count. Now, it counts towards you making money.
Yes.
But it doesn't count towards this credit that I think every artist wants to have credit in the artistic world, but also in the commercial industry world. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, I want the niggas that create music, the artist community, to respect me. But I want that respect to be the foundation. But I want the actual public and all of the platforms that collect all this data and say, this artist is number one, based on their numbers. And there are a lot of artists who's not getting their due justice in that arena because they ain't been studying, or their team hasn't been studying and being prepared for how you need to move and position your art and your IP so that you get credit. It's like when you fly in Delta, right? If you don't put that sky mile number in, you don't get credit for them flights.
No.
Now I'm trying to get credit for everything I put my dollar into, I put my energy into, I put my sweat into. I want fucking credit. Because I remember like the all gold everything shit, right? Like I was co-managing the producer. I walked the producer into his publishing situation. You know what I'm saying? I was working on with Trinidad because Forte was working on the Don't Be Safe project. He was produced on it, was featured on it. Like when them niggas start putting out, when they start giving plaques, I never got a plaque for all gold everything, even though I brokered the deal for the producer and was co-managing nigga, walked them through the shit, right? I never got my plaque for Uptown Funk, which they sampled fucking all gold everything. So that shit ain't never happened. Shit never happened, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure this nigga that got plaques that didn't do nothing that wasn't involved. Like, I literally told the producer, yo, there's more people that want to sign with you. I know because I've been talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Because the producer ended up firing everybody because he thought his cousin who connected everybody was trying to get him. Like, he was really paranoid. But after he fired everybody, he hit me, was like, yo, man, like, I fuck with you. What do you think about this? He still was asking me these different questions. So I was like, man, you need to meet with this person, you need to meet with that person, because being that I wasn't from Mississippi, I was really just from Atlanta. And he was just like, I never lied to the nigga. It's just one of them things where I was a part of the apples, the batch of apples, and the ones that was spoiled, I got thrown out with them. But he still was like, yo, he recently hit me up like 2 months ago.
For real?
Yes, through LinkedIn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't respond because he didn't break me off when I put him in place. The promoter, the publisher who didn't think they were gonna get the deal, didn't break me off. And then I ain't get no plaque for none of that shit.
So you're like a ghost.
Yeah.
Basically.
100%. Like, so, but it's cool because at the end of the day, I'm just speaking towards all of that shit now. When I'm talking to youngins, I'm talking to people like, yo, especially managers, yo, get your credit. That is your next check. If you don't realize it when you're young, that's your next check. So now, shit, I'm due plaques now from our publishing company, from our drum. Like, I need all my plaques. That's because that's my credit for the work that you put in when 10, 15 years pass and people are like, oh, did you really do that? Only way you can prove it if you got some level of hardware, some level of like vouching, or if you're still working with those individuals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's one of them things where, you know, Very, very, very. I mean, I don't even. It's plats. I haven't got my plat from Juice World shit yet on the record that Brent was on, the album with Gold. I ain't got my plat from. It's a lot of plats that I personally have not collected. You know what I'm saying? Because I was working hard, but I wasn't studying hard.
Right.
Now, I've been studying for the past 3 years, heavy, on like all of the different things that it takes to break an artist, to break an executive, to break a company, to break a team, to create a movement that can last over and over and over again. Cause nigga, I'm studying Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Puff still is live and walking in the well. And we've had a few conversations about it, not nothing in detail, but that's what I'm studying. Cause shit, Bad Boy was a relevant crossover R&B label that broke multiple R&B acts. Yeah, they had Biggie and he had Lox and Shine, but like people remember like that fly ass R&B shit that Puff was doing. You know what I'm saying? And how it crossed over and blended. And so that's what I've been studying a lot of lately in that regards. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, study harder. If you study harder, a lot of shit that you don't even realize really do matter. You know what I mean? And it puts you in a place to really take advantage of your success. Yeah.
I saw that you guys will be presenting plaques to listeners that listen to Wasteland.
Yeah.
Tell me about that idea.
Plaque Pass, Wasteland Plaque Pass.
Uh-huh.
So basically it was this concept where we was trying to get all of the DSPs was like, yo, what ideas can we do? Can we do an event? Can we do a performance? I'm like, yeah, we can, man, but like, what can we do to like give back to the fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this idea hit where it was like, man, what if fans, obviously we can't give everybody because it's a lot of fans, but what if they're top listeners, the people that's the most engaged, and we identify those top people, and we're like, we're gonna make sure you get a plat for the first record that goes gold off of, on Wasteland. And customized with your name, with the logo. That's your credit as a fan. You know what I'm saying? If you've been listening for a long time, you're more likely to be in that conversation about getting it. If you on the community line, you receiving the text messages, you did the pre-orders, like you fall up in that small circuit. So, cause it may be 20,000 people trying to get this fucking pass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's only be a select amount. And I think that first batch is gonna see how successful it is. And my goal is really to turn that into like an NFT. Like to turn that concept, these membership passes into an NFT. And these are one of the things that you'll be able to get, like your customized plat pass or your customized merchandise or your Lost Kids promise rings, like all these different things that we're developing that we're trying to make sure that fans become like a part of the story, that they can tell their kids and, be cool when they in their 40s and their 50s and they're like, yo, where you get this platform? Like, oh, this one time back in my day, you know what I'm saying? You remember Brent Faiyaz, you still listening to him. I was one of the early fans. And it's like, that shit is important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think when you think about working hard in the music space specifically, the fan does work. The listener does work.
Yeah.
Showing up, shows, activation, listening.
Yeah.
You decide that in a way.
Oh, fuck. They working hard. You know what I'm saying? Fans are working hard. Like, they're working hard. And they don't realize it because they have a passion for listening to music.
Right.
They don't realize how hard they work. Bro, I'm not a fan of nothing. I've literally, the longest I've sat in a line to vote for anybody or to buy anything was 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And that was a vote for Obama. But I'm not a fan of standing in line for shoes. I'm not a fan for like standing in line for concert tickets or festivals. Like my experiences in life are a lot more deeper than that. Like my time, control of my time. I'm not standing out for no 3 hours, camping out.
The waiting.
Just to buy a pet. Nah, I'm not doing none of that shit.
But she's like you said, you're not a fan.
Yeah.
You're not a fan enough.
Like I'm a fan of like Deion Sanders. Like I'm a fan of like Obama. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'll go and watch a game. I'll go watch Deion Sanders coach practice for 2 hours. And be like, damn, this shit crazy. I'm at Deion Sanders practice. But I'm not gonna go stand in line for no Travis Scotts. In line digitally or physically.
I got you.
This shit ain't happening.
So tell me also, you said 3 years of studying, like hard studying about breaking an artist, breaking an executive, breaking a company.
Yeah.
And that 3 year time period, what didn't you know when you guys released Saunders Son that you realized that has been a big impact on the way you've been moving for Wasteland?
Man, you wanna know the most simplest shit? I never did a clean and the dirty part of albums. I never put out clean and dirty. Just that simple change helps with like your sales history.
Yeah.
Because if you want your shit to be playing at the Apple store, well, like, that shit gotta be clean.
Yeah.
I've never delivered
That's very crazy.
clean and a dirty project. Never. This is the first time.
I'm sorry, that's funny.
Yeah, like just something that simple.
It seems extremely simple.
It is fucking very simple. And it wasn't like I didn't know it. I'm like, fuck that clean shit. We're gonna go dirty.
Right.
Like, that clean, I had
The
them.
album, yeah.
Like I had them for like syncs, shit like that. But I didn't never put it out.
They would never upload it on DSP, which seems so simple.
Very simple. Just things like that. It's not a hard lift. Like,
Right.
oh shit, probably should do that.
I also think people tend to think you're always missing something difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 1000%. That's the thing about when you start studying. When you start studying, you realize like, damn, the simplest life hacks, they call it life hacks. Right?
Yeah.
It's just things that you when you're studying, you're proning yourself to pay closer attention to small details. You know what I'm saying? You're not studying for the big shit. The big shit is where everybody run to. You studying to try to figure out, how did this big shit even become the big shit?
Absolutely.
That's why I'm studying. You know what I'm saying? Like, what Chance the Rapper and them did to get that #1 as an independent company? You know what I'm saying? We don't got rich dads and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a rich manager. So like, my perspective from what they did is gonna always be different from what we're gonna do.
Right.
Because we literally came from a seed investment from Post for 75 racks that turned into what it's turning into now. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like no hidden, shit like that, and then being very secretive about it. Everybody has their own thought process of it, but that's another part about the studying part. If I didn't study, I would look at that and be like, I will probably be discouraged, because I would be doing what they said versus studying the details of all the moving pieces around it and the nuances on these different things. You know what I'm saying?
And then applying what you can apply.
1000%. 1000%.
Now I noticed with the DSPs, they usually have like the record label at the bottom.
Yep.
Yours is Lost Kids, obviously. That's the company. But I also saw that it had marketing by Venice and STEM.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
I mean, once again, it's a study aspect of it, right? If we are to, as independent companies, own the market, we have to work together more. You know, when Drake and Future put out What a Time to Be Alive, Epic and Republic worked together to promote the project, right? So I was sitting down one day and I was like, man, what happens if two independent distributors work together on a project, right? And that's how that kind of like came together. I called Troy. I was like, yo, I want you to work on this, with us, with STEM, and you know what I mean? And we'll make it so that me knowing the information, me knowing like, oh, a distributor needs to be able to claim market share because it helps their business, helps them if they want to raise money, whatever. So I'm like, fuck whoever the aggregator is, who's uploading the information. If we put in the PL, the P line, like, these are the companies that are responsible for how much money or how much success this project makes on these official charts. And these charts are the ones that are like showing like what the market share of the success in the market. So if I could say, damn man, Venice is gonna get a piece of that with Lost Kids, now I'm pushing independence forward. You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, they're gonna be Master P, they're gonna be Ty. No, my bad. It's gonna be J Prince, Master P, and it's gonna be Ty. Because the independent aspect of it in this generation, history repeats itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, history repeats itself. So when history repeats itself, all I ever has done has been like, how can I be the independent nigga? I'm gonna see what P did that I like, and I'm gonna say, okay, boom, we're gonna go about it a different way. And we're gonna see if we can break an artist globally through being independent. studying, getting that information. It ain't hard to find no money when you hot. That's when the culture capital come in. That's when people want to just bust down the door because they want to be involved. They want to figure out, like, how can we get involved with this? Like, they doing something special. They doing something unique. You know what I'm saying? So from that perspective, I'm like, I bet when we talk about independent, you'll have to come see me. It ain't no arrogance thing. It's because I got information that when you're signed with a major label, you're never going to learn. You're never going to learn the information that I've learned when you do a major label deal. Never. You're not going to know which radio people to deal with. You're not going to know how to span your shit international. That's why you sign up with them, so you don't have to learn that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I purposely didn't sign up so that I can learn what does global commerce look like. How do you actually scale a project globally, market by market by market? Who are the people that you're talking to? You know what I'm saying? How does the radio work in Australia and Canada versus the United States of America? You know what I'm saying? Which markets globally are pressure point markets? You know what I'm saying? Like this market here, once you pop in there, it expands. You know what I'm saying? All of these things you don't know record label. So if you get a global hit with a record label, you make a lot of relationships because you got to move around with the artists. You're going to meet all the top people, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if we get a global hit, I'm going to learn all of the infrastructural things in real time. And I'm going to be able to record them, document them, put them in a book. You know what I'm saying? And always have that information accessible. So when people want to come and be like, yo, I just got out a record label deal, they want to give me $50 million to re-sign, but like, I feel like they didn't take care of me the first time. I got this valuable business. What do I do? Well, okay, first question is, do you know what you want to do? Nah, I don't know what I want to do, but I definitely don't want to go over there no more. Okay, cool. Well, we can put together a strategy that we can start off by just picking you a distributor, you know what I'm saying? Or figuring out a way to form a company or fund a company that can be the new distributor for just your catalog, if your catalog is generating that much money, right? And they're like, okay, cool. And now they're definitely get another different tutelage that they never got. And they've been in business with these companies for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you start talking about PhD, nigga, I'm gonna end up having a PhD in independence. Period. It is not because of somebody said you should go to college. You know how when you graduate high school,
right,
you should go to college.
That's the first thing they tell you.
First thing they tell you. Because worst case scenario, like if you go to college, you'll learn some shit. Get some kind of like discipline. I picked the education over the money. Literally. Over and over and over and over again. I picked education over money. Because education is sustainable.
Yes.
It spreads. It transfer overs. You know what I'm saying? If I go to the UK right now with some US dollars, they're gonna be like, you need British pounds.
Yes.
Or you need euros.
Yeah.
I have to, but when I come over with education, there might be some tweaks like, well, in our territory, they're not called LLCs, they're called limited liability. They're called you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The language might change.
The language might change, but the concept of how that business is gonna grow, or how them taxes or that accounting or the budgeting or the balance of the books or the income statements or like how
You're still able to apply the same education.
All this shit is still the same education, man. Some of the most greatest business people in third world countries and developing countries, the international commerce is the international commerce. It is what it is. Like that ain't nothing that's gonna ever fucking change. You know what I'm saying? They can change US dollars and be like, boom, Bitcoin, niggas. Bitcoin is what we're doing now. But like they can't change and be like, you know, there ain't no budget. We ain't doing budgets no more.
Yeah.
Business don't got no budget. No, nigga. Business is gonna always have budgets as long as businesses are making money. You need a budget. You need a budget to have a strong business. Period.
I get that. When it comes to breaking artists, I think what's really interesting is you guys really haven't hit the road with Brent. When was the last time you guys actually was on the road touring?
2018.
2018. So what have you learned about just the digital market since you guys haven't done live shows since 2018?
I've learned that fans want music more than live shows. That doesn't mean that live shows don't have value. When you start doing the live shows, then the fans buy more. They dig deeper into their experience. You know what I'm saying? The live show is the experience. You know what I'm saying? The music being released is the game. The live show is the halftime, right?
I like that.
The live show, you can't keep, like, everybody ain't that tight. They can just release music and then don't go out and touch the people. You know what I'm saying? There's rare occasions, and I'm aware that Brent is a rare occasion that he's grown so substantially over the last 4 years without having toured like the regular artists. But all that does for me, from a studying perspective, I started to realize, like, oh, it's a little trickery going on here. Like, when you with a record label, you're forced to tour, because that's how you make your money. But when you're not with a record label, now you can, but touring is bad on your mind and your body. When you got a tour to make money, to provide for your family, because the money that you're making on music is locked into this deal, if you're not mentally ready for that, it's going to create anxiety, social anxiety. It's going to create all these different things. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to have people picking on you because they're thinking like, oh, you're just being a diva or you're being extra. But they don't realize that artists today haven't been through artist development, true artist development, like going out doing radio shows in every city when nobody was watching to get that chops up, to be able to perform in a small, because if you can perform in the small room, the big rooms are easy because nobody's looking at you in the big room.
Right.
The small room, every motherfucker in there is looking at you in your mind. Mm-hmm. But in a big room, nobody's looking at you. 10,000 people at a festival, everybody's not looking at you. Not the way you think they are, but in a close proximity and there's 300 people in your face.
All eyes on you.
You feel like everybody's looking at you. And the stages is like right there in the face.
Yeah.
The festivals, the stage is high, you're looking down on everybody, you're able to move around.
There's no separation at 300 cap, bro.
No separation. So I think that it taught me from us studying, like, all right, so if we are working with a client who feels like mentally they may not be ready for live shows, I got another strategy. Now, all of that stuff is, it's proven or not proven, whatever the case may be. But people listen to music every day. People don't go to shows every day. Mm-mm. So if you're gonna really, 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 really bank on this shit, it's like, I'm gonna bank on this music. I'm gonna bank on being consistent with releasing. And I gotta figure out the best way to go out and do tours that won't decapitate my mental health. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
That's what I've learned from this experience. And I'm like, I don't think that that we are necessarily outliers in that sense. I think that we're the first one that cracked gold to realize it. Wait a minute. So I can build my entire life around just how much money I make off music. And then when I want to have them bumps, I hit the road. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you keep putting out great music and, something is gonna click, if it's gonna click, you know what I'm saying? It might be time, meaning I've had enough time that I've done an experience that you like, damn, that was a fire ass experience. Who did this? Oh, this is our name, Brent Faiyaz. It's like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. That's on my workout playlist. Then you go to your workout playlist because you remember now because this experience have created this thing where you like, oh man, I felt so good. It was like so many great people. This is the type of fans that the artists have. I didn't even know that he had these type of fans. These people feel like my tribe, right? So now when they go back to their workout playlist, they're going to click favor. They're going to follow. Now all of a sudden they're becoming a more engaged listener because it was something along that time frame. That's why you can't rush this shit. And that's how artists stay around forever. Time, developing, learning, their teams, learning, developing. And it's great to go fast, but it's liable to run off the road if you ain't a skilled driver.
Thank y'all for tuning in for this week's episode of Fuck You Money. We'll be back soon.